Have you ever looked at your body and wanted to cry? Well, that's how I felt before I lost 12 dress sizes and an incredible 63 pounds with hydro.
One of the biggest problems, ladies, I know you all hate, cankles.
And finally, a solution for cellulite, the before and after.
How would you like amazing results like these in only 21 days?
Hey, wrinkle face. That's what people could say if you're still...
Stretch marks, visibly reduce them up to 92%.
No, it's never too early to start the anti-aging process.
Gravity getting the better of your bust line? Well, now you can get incredible results like this.
Blurs wrinkles and imperfections in seconds.
Is your hair lacking thickness?
Loose, wrinkled skin under the arms or the combination of fat and hanging skin.
Want skin that looks virtually poreless?
Cankles, a hybrid of calf and ankle.
You want a little help getting rid of those sagging arms?
Miraculous push-up instantly adds 2 cup sizes.
Hey, on an all-new episode of The Doctors, How to Fix Your Body.
We're talking about your nose, your bladder, your thighs.
Imagine being able to reshape your backside and achieve that ultimate shapely lifted booty instantly.
Take a look at Patricia's legs when she's standing up. You can start to see, that crepey texture, that saggy texture.
Changes in your skin? Aging is not just about wrinkles. Your skin could be losing volume.
Back boobs, bra bulge, rear rolls.
Underarm skin is dark and tall. Great figure, but has saggy underarms. Every woman has them. Do you fit into yours during your period? Diurex helps you lose that extra inch.
Ladies, what's the trending new secret to a perfect hourglass shape? Your perfect body in seconds with the Genie Hourglass.
How do I feel about aging? I don't let it show, and I wouldn't let grays show in my hair.
She got a face that's kind of modest, but she got the hair like a porcupine. It targets dark spots, age spots. Turn back the clock around the clock.
They can instantly remove your under eye bags.
Happening now, the V-shaped face. Some wrinkles, like the vertical ones, make you look sad.
Reduce the appearance of sailing.
Secrets.
Before I lost 12 dress sizes and an incredible 63 pounds.
Naomi Wolf once said that what girls learn is not the desire for the other, but the desire to be desired. That's what I think of when I watch this scene from Cleo from 5 to 7. Here, Cleo is getting ready to receive her lover, and despite the prospect of a life-threatening illness looming on the horizon, she still positions herself as the perfect image of his idea of beauty. When he leaves, she is visibly unsatisfied. Their relationship is a far cry from the true companionship that she aches for. Instead of telling her partner about her affliction, Cleo focuses on trying to be as alluring as possible. And this is one of the many ways in which Cleo is robbed of human connection by anxiously fixating on how she is viewed by others. In Cleo from 5 to 7, mirrors are everywhere. Upon waiting for the news of her diagnosis, Cleo gazes at her reflection frequently. She fusses with her hair, tries on hats, and finally rips off her wig in frustration. When Cleo finds out that she may have stomach cancer, she is not only forced to confront the possibility of death, but the reality of her life. And she is hit with the realization that everyone who surrounds her treats her like a thing, a doll. The men she makes music with view her as an aloof client rather than an artistic collaborator. Her assistant infantilizes her but provides no true emotional support. Her lover acknowledges her beauty but not her complexity or her inner battles. The moment she rips off her wig in the mirror marks the beginning of her awakening to the falsehoods that have come to define her existence. Cleo's inability to be herself in a world in which she is defined by her looks have left her with hollow, pseudo-relationships that leave her wholly unprepared to deal with her mortality. But after she breaks away in this moment of agency and roams the streets of Paris alone, mirrors continue to follow her, only now they are fractured, broken, or distorted. As Cleo continues to make her way through Paris, Varda occasionally switches to Cleo's subjective perspective. Cleo attracts the gaze of many, but the attention is disorienting and demeaning. In the same tradition as the street performers we see reveling in grotesque acts, Cleo feels like something of a sideshow. Here, Varda wants us to question our collective obsession with outward appearances and how it can warp the way we see each other and turn people into spectacles to consume. Now, because we are seeing the strangers through Cleo's eyes, it could be argued that this sequence is not Cleo's exact reality, but rather is shown through the lens of the paranoia and anxiety that comes with always being looked at in a certain way. This constant heightened awareness of one's physical appearance in public life speaks to the experience of women in general.
Women live in a world where they're taught that their primary form of currency is their appearance. And you can't escape it. Your appearance is so chronically observed by other people that over time you internalize that perspective. So you become an observer of yourself. Instead of moving around, looking out at the world, you spend all of that time imagining how you look to the world. Is my hair okay? Is my forehead shiny? Am I standing up straight? Am I sucking in my stomach? You've internalized this notion that your body is always on display for other people, always up for evaluation, so you better keep an eye on it too. Now, psychologists have long told us that we have finite cognitive resources. You cannot chronically monitor your body's appearance and be engaged with the world, because between you and the world is a mirror, and it's a mirror that travels with you everywhere. You can't seem to put it down.
You do not need to look far to observe the ways in which women are constantly made aware of how they should look, and are judged, critiqued, and even mocked and dismissed if they do not fulfill this narrow standard. It may seem trivial, but at its very worst, this can result in a casual form of dehumanization.
Probably know, they also cover really important things, like what famous women look like, what they're wearing, whether they've gained weight, how they've lost weight. These are all from the same day on the Huffington Post.
And now, Dowsers, starring Lady Gaga's suddenly giant ass.
Hater slammed her pictures on social media saying, of all things, that she is fat.
Kate Upton responds to fat pig comments.
The host of a Univision talk show has been fired for saying that the First Lady looks like a member of the Planet of the Apes.
People called her extremely ugly, mocked up fake tweets from her, and compared her to a gorilla, an ape, and an orangutan.
Mila Kunis's surprising weight gain.
She needs to drop a few.
Trying to say that our First Lady does not project the image of women that you might see on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
What is this song, Rolling in the Deep?
Yeah.
She should add fried chicken.
I have to say, when you put it in the context of you're both 23, yeah, Heidi looks like a hard living porn star who's 40.
Tell me what you don't like about your body.
I pretty much like everything.
She's in for a rude awakening.
Ah!
Your arms needs to be toning.
I've never had anyone look at my body like that and critique it.
Your butt. Although good, there's not enough of it for me.
The former Miss Venezuela went from 118 pounds to, well, the number keeps growing.
If I were running The View, I'd fire Rosie. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired.
View with the New York Times, Trump takes it upon himself to randomly rank the America's Got Talent judges' looks, saying, quote, Heidi Klum, sadly, she's no longer a 10.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
Boy discussed as the camera bores in on Fiorina. Look at that face, he cries. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that the face of our next president? This kind of schoolyard bullying is unseemly in anyone, but in a presidential candidate, how is it not an instant ejection button? Why do you think that he is so fixated on female appearance?
But it was weird because it's not just, oh, she's fat. It's like, she's a mess. She's gone off the deep end.
Renee Zellweger appeared at the Elle Awards on Monday, and there's only been 69,000 news articles on her appearance.
The upper eyelids may have had an upper lid blepharoplasty. That's an eyelid surgery where you remove the skin.
What if Renee Zellweger has had some surgery? Fucking what's Renee Zellweger having this surgery for? It's like she's under some intense pressure regarding her physical appearance or something.
I'm Diana.
Self-preservation, wanting to look nice, these are all deeply human instincts that have an evolutionary basis. But the way in which our profit-driven culture has exploited these instincts is what's so disturbing. We have so narrowed this idea of what is beautiful, not even beautiful, but what is permissible, acceptable. And yet Cleo is a rare woman who meets this racist and artificially constructed standard. She is tall, thin, white, wrinkle-free. Her look should be one less thing to worry about, and yet she is still consumed by her appearance, even as she grapples with the idea of an imminent death. Varda here implies that being defined by your looks is a kind of prison, whether you are considered beautiful or not. When your entire identity is staked on something that is by nature fleeting, and so disconnected from your actual personhood, it can be a trap for even the most privileged. But is this a trap that women are predestined for? Is the way in which we objectify and scrutinize women's bodies simply a part of human nature? Varda doesn't seem to think so, offering us a glimpse of a small space that is far removed from societal ideals of how women should be viewed. Cleo's experience is put into harsh juxtaposition when she visits her friend Dorothy. When we first see her, Dorothy is completely naked and on display, but the atmosphere in the room is not hostile or debasing, but rather calm and contemplative. Dorothy is being drawn both by men and women, and every iteration of her is different and complex. She is at ease with and unashamed of her body and sexuality, but unlike Cleo, she is not defined and therefore entrapped by it. Cleo finds Dorothy's vulnerability unsettling. Dorothy is bare, devoid of any wigs or robes. In Cleo's mind, she has no costume and therefore no barrier to hide the very real contradictions and flaws that make us human. But even so, Dorothy is happy, present in the moment. Spending time with Dorothy allows Cleo to catch a glimpse of what freedom in a female body may look like. With the wigs and the fluffy robes, it is clear to see that Cleo is tirelessly performing someone else's idea of the ideal woman and compromising her selfhood as a result. But after Cleo visits Dorothy, she breaks her compact right outside of the studio. The broken mirror is a hopeful image, something that could possibly signify the shattering of Cleo's compromised identity. In the film's final act, Cleo finds herself alone in a park, confronted by a stranger. Antoine, who's being shipped off to fight a morally dubious war, is facing down his own mortality as well, and the two form a quick sense of trust and understanding. Through their conversations, we learn that Cleo's real name was not actually Cleo, but Florence, consolidating the idea that Cleo was always performing. Throughout her life, Cleo was a character, an object, a spectacle, but never a person. But here, a miraculous thing happens. When she and Antoine look at each other, they are able to meet each other's gaze on equal footing. Normally for Cleo, there is a viewer, her lover, her pianist, a stranger on the street, and her, the person who is being viewed. But here there is no such power disparity, for both Cleo and Antoine are looking and being looked at, and because of this, they are both able to acknowledge each other's humanity.